Hello, children. Today, we are going to talk about elements of a short story. Do you know that learning about story elements is important? Because it enhances our appreciation and understanding about literature and storytelling. Short story is a narrative text with one or more characters involved in a series of events that usually focus on one major conflict. Now, let's take a look at each element. Characters. Characters are most often people or animals. They move a story's plot forward. They are the who of a story. For the characters, we have major and minor. For the major characters, it can be divided into two. The first one is protagonist. Protagonist is the central character in the story and the one on whom the story is focused, while antagonist, the one who usually causes conflict or problem in the story. Second is the setting. Refers not only to the physical location, but also the time the action takes place. It is the where and the when of a story. The third is the plot. The plot is the series of events in the story. It typically consists of several key components or major parts. While different models may break down the plot in slightly different ways, a commonly accepted structure includes the following major parts: exposition or the introduction, the first part of the story where the setting and the characters are introduced; rising action, the part of the story where the conflict or the problem in the story begins; climax, the turning point in the story, the part where the conflict reaches its peak and the readers wonder how the problem will be resolved. Falling action, the events right after the climax, the time when the conflict starts to get resolved. Lastly, resolution states the final event in the story. Some stories may not have an ending and may end hanging in the climax part. This is what we call an open ending. The next element is the conflict. As we all know, it is the struggle or problem between two opposing forces. No conflict, no story. Setting up a series of cause and effect events, conflict gives these events their why. The four types of conflict are the following: man versus man, or character versus character; man versus nature, or character versus nature; man versus himself, or character versus self; man versus society, or character versus society. Character versus character. In this type of conflict, the central character clashes with another character. Character versus society. The main character challenges a law, tradition, or institution. Character versus nature. The main character fights to endure or overcome forces of nature. He or she may struggle to survive harsh elements, navigate through a disaster, or meet his or her basic needs. Character versus self. When a story has a character versus himself, the main character battles him or himself. He or she may lack confidence or ability. The next element is the theme. It is the underlying message that the writer wants to share with the readers. A theme is a comment in life, a description of how people act and the effects of their actions upon themselves and others. It may be directly stated or implied. These are the examples. The theme of the story varies. The author may convey to the readers that growth can come from failure, or appreciate what you have, and a lot more. The last element is the point of view, or POV. This is the angle from which the story is told. There are three types of point of view. The choice of point of view can significantly influence how readers perceive and engage with the narrative. The point of view presents who is telling the story. The first is first person, where the main character is telling the story. Your keywords are me, I, we, my, our, and ours. The second point of view is the second person. The author or narrator is telling the story to you, the reader. Your keywords are you, your, and yours. And the last point of view is the third person. The author or narrator is telling the story, but is not part of it. It can be limited view. The keywords are he, she, it, they, and them. Now, let's evaluate some examples of the different points of view. First person. First of all, let me get something straight. This is a journal, not a diary. I know what it says on the cover, but when mom went out to buy this thing, I specifically told her to get one that didn't say diary on it. It's by Diary of a Wimpy Kid by Jeff Kinney. So if you notice, in this example, we have the clue words I. Second person. Now you are on the bus, standing in the crowd, hanging from a strap by your arm, and you begin undoing the package with your free hand, making movements something like a monkey who wants to peel a banana, and at the same time cling to the bow. Winter's Night, a Traveler, 1979. The keywords here are you and your. Third person. Jane was really looking forward to her upcoming vacation. Her boss knew she had earned time off but was concerned about some upcoming deadlines. The key words here are she and her. Children, always remember that by understanding and learning characters, plot, setting, and other key elements, you do not only decode the author's intentions, but also embark on a journey of intellectual discovery. Once again, this is Teacher Grace. Thank you for watching.